Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we're not going to be getting undisputed. We're not. Very sad day in boxing. Very dark day in boxing. We were this close to seeing an undisputed heavyweight champion. But the more I look at this thing, I start asking myself, when the fuck have you ever seen something like this? And I got to say, I've never seen nothing like this. The only way you can reconcile things happening in this fashion is if it's preordained, because it sews itself up too good. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm expecting is that Deontay Wilder is going to win the third fight. Not because he improved, not because he's that good a boxer, but because that's what's in the script. All of this looks scripted. And I invite any of you to come on here and discuss it, because I firmly believe with things having happened the way they happened, this is a script, bro. This is a script. It sews itself up far too neatly for me to believe that this is what's actually going on. Ring going live to... Oh, come on. Timmy was good. Rob was good. I don't believe this stuff, dog. Like, I really don't. I don't believe what I'm seeing. The first fight's a draw. Then Fury has his shining moment in time. He beats mental health. He beats the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. In the next chapter, the third act of this story, Deontay Wilder will win the fight, perhaps in a fashion that no one expects him to, because they seem to be relying on the unexpected. They seem to be relying on giving the audience something that they didn't expect, because most people didn't expect Fury to come forward on Wilder and rough him up and push him around. That's what he did. So the last thing people are expecting now is that, oh, well, Wilder's going to come back and he's going to outbox Tyson Fury. He's going to outbox him. They could expect a knockout. Some people are still expecting that. But the last thing everyone's expecting is for Wilder to go in there and thoroughly outbox Tyson Fury to prove that he battled his demons and all this different. Like, I'm telling you, it's scripted, bro. I'm telling you, it's scripted. I don't believe these people. I don't believe it. What's goody, Jamie? Then the fourth fight, that's what I'm saying. Then the fourth fight will be a draw. That will lead to a fifth fight. And yo, I'm telling you, bruh, the whole thing look fake. It looks fake. You telling me that y'all sat there and negotiated a fight with this man, right? Bear in mind, a lot of people asked me about this when I told them. Like they was like, yo, well, why would Bob do that if it's more money in an AJ fight? Well, Bob and Frank ain't the ones that had to do all the legwork. Eddie Hearn had to do the legwork. It didn't take no effort from Bob to tell a lie. You know what I mean? It didn't take no effort from him to tell a lie. You told them cats that, yo, this arbitration shit is not for no fight. He just wants some bread. You let them believe that up until the point that the prince called your boy. You let them believe that up until the prince of Saudi Arabia is calling your man like, yo, we got the money. What's the problem? We got the money. What's the problem? Only so that the day after that, nah, ain't gonna be no fight. Bruh, I'm like, nah, dog, it's a con job. I'm telling you, I smell a con job, bruh. And if I'm right, Wilder will win the third fight. The most ho-hum thing that can happen right now, based on boxing and boxing science, is Fury should beat Wilder in similar to or the same fashion as he did before. Boxing. But if this is what I think it is, now Wilder's going to win that fight. Wilder's going to win that fight because that's what's in the script. Cat, I'm telling you, Roger, I don't think none of that shit was real, bruh. I'm looking at the whole thing. I'm like, all right, so the first fight was a draw. And then Fury wins in monumental fashion. Now whose turn is it? It's Wilder's turn. It's Wilder's turn to win in monumental fashion. I wouldn't put it past Bob or Old Fish Eyes. They both hate Eddie. Obvious that Fury con Joshua. True, Julius. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Wilder knocks. I'm telling you, it's a con job. I'm telling you, that's what it looked like. It like, bruh, it gets to the point to where you lie. Based on your lie, the prince is calling your fighter like, yo, what's good? We got the money. Da-da-da-da-da. so that the next day, y'all not gonna fight. I'm gonna rule in favor of Wilder for an expired contract. 9 times out of 10, if a contract expired, it just expired, bro. That's it. It's not actionable after that. Even if you put a clause in there, like, yo, this, that, and the other, the clause is on an expired contract. So y'all going into arbitration was already type sus. I asked that months ago, like, why y'all going into arbitration for a contract that he said expired? It's either it's not expired or something else is going on here. Hulkamania running wild. Joshua Littlejohn, I'm dead ass. I ain't even capping. I think it's fake. And if I'm right, Wilder will win the 3rd fight, and he will win in a way that nobody's expecting him to win. If I'm right, that's what'll happen. If I'm wrong, then he'll lose again, and we don't got to deal with his fucking fans no more. Win-win. I tried to tell y'all they got 2 fight clauses. It's a setup. They're going to fight one more time when Wilder win. They in cahoot. Yo, Cat, for real, B. I'm glad I'm not the only one that think that, because I'm looking at this. I'm like, when you ever seen something like this happen, man? The only place you see stuff like this happen is in the WWE. This don't be happening. Look, when Rockman tried to bail on Lennox Lewis when he had a rematch clause, Lennox ain't go to no mediation arbitration. Like, no, my contract is active. I'm taking you to court. I want my rematch now. You know what I mean? And he got the rematch within 12 months. That's what you do under normal circumstances. What y'all did was sit around for months. Y'all sat around for months, and I'm thinking, oh, well, they probably just waiting for the crowds to come back, and that's what they telling everybody. But you actually went into negotiations with Eddie Hearn. You had him doing all that legwork. You're not doing nothing. He's running around trying to get money for this fight, so that when he finally about to have a fight and all the money and everything is put together, oh, nah, the arbitrator said we can't fight. I got to fight him. Nah, man, I'm telling you, something ain't right. Something ain't right. There's going to be a 4th fight. I'm telling you. Yo, I believe you, Joe. I believe you. I got a feeling Wilder's probably going to win, and they're going to set up a 4th fight. No way Wilder lose. Yo, I'm telling you, Mike, I think he's going to win again. Call your bookie. Because I think he's going to win again. And this little fiasco has costed me a little bit of money, a little bit of change, nothing major. Ugly what's his face will get his little $130. That ain't about nothing. That's nothing. As soon as the fight date is announced and it's official and all of that, I'll send that in. That ain't nothing but a drop in the bucket. But moving forward, yo, I really think, this shit fake, bro. This whole shit is fake. Wilder will win the 3rd fight. He'll win it in a fashion that people don't expect him to, because that's how you write a story. That's how you write a story. And the whole shit look like a story. Like, this don't look like no boxing match. This don't look like no shit with... Look, motherfucker normally get his ass beat like that. Motherfucker don't come back from that. Normally. This shit, this like an episode of a sitcom or something. Like, he rising from the ashes, and he gonna change, and he doing Rocky montages. He on the beach, lifting planks. You just now started working out. Why you just now started working out? There's too much stuff there that look weird. Like, yo, why was Bruce Trempler on Saturday saying, yo, we got a pay-per-view for Fury on the 4th? We got a pay-per-view for Fury. How you saying that on Saturday and the judge didn't rule, well, the arbitrator didn't rule till Monday? Then how you knew y'all had a pay-per-view for Fury in July? Hell's bells. What I'm trying to tell you, bro. He over there with them WWE cats. He know all about that. Una sola pelea con Joshua le genera más dinero que 3 peleas y ellos aún así no quieren la pelea. ¿Y tú no crees que eso está medio raro, Índigo? ¿Tú no crees que eso está medio raro? Esa oportunidad lo tenía los dos. Ya van 3 años para pelear con ese tipo. And for one reason or another, nunca quieren pelear con ese tipo. ¿Cuál es la razón? If Wilder fighting in July, he's now training for the biggest fight of his life. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, Christian, we just started seeing videos of this cat doing pad work, and he lifting wooden logs and shit on some fake Rocky montage shit. This shit is staged, bruh. So if I'm right, Wilder will win the third fight. And he'll win in a way where me and you, or well, I ain't even gonna say me and you, he'll win in a way that he's not supposed to. Oh, he gonna go in there, he gonna put on a boxing masterclass. He gonna jab and he gonna feint, he gonna slip, and he gonna parry and roll. He gonna look like a whole different Wilder because you wrote it that way. Exactly, Joshua Lil John. I'm trying to tell you, Red Hawk, I don't believe nothing I see no more. I don't believe nothing. Dragon of the West, I'm trying to tell you something, bro. The only way it happens this way is if y'all wanted it to happen this way. And if you reverse engineer that, like, hold up, wait a minute. So y'all went as far as getting the Prince of Saudi Arabia to call you up on the phone to provide assurances that the money will be there or that the money is there. And the day after that, because you about to have to sign on for this joint. See, I don't think they signed. I don't think they signed. Because had they signed, Eddie Hearn could sue them for damages. Like, yo, bro, you wasted my time. I had to pass these contracts through lawyers and all of that. You wasted my time. So I don't think they signed on for anything. I don't. Now seeing how it happened, I'm like, nah, y'all didn't sign on for nothing. Because if you sign that paperwork, that's your ass. Eddie don't got to care about what you got going on with Wilder. That ain't his problem. You had me running around this motherfucker for 3-4 months trying to make a fight, y'all knowing that you got a situation with Wilder. That ain't what you told me. You told me you was good. You told me it ain't gonna be no fight. I'm trying to tell you something, bro. Rob, I believe he did, bro. I believe he did. And because he called, that's what put the pressure on him. Like, yo, we got to wrap this up. We got to get out of this situation real quick. We entering into the third act of this WWE show. This shit fake, bro. I'm trying to tell you, this shit fake. If I'm wrong, Fury wins. Because boxing dictates that Fury should win. Why? You beat his ass the first time. We know that Wilder ain't no cerebral boxer. He's a puncher. Usually when a puncher lose a fight like that the way you lost, they don't be the same after that. Usually. So boxing dictates, yo, this cat should lose the third fight. He should lose the third fight. But if that fight rolls around and you see some old mystical, miracle, other like I'm telling you, because they wrote it that way. They wrote it that way. All the accusations. Who fed, for starters, who fed all that Glovegate shit to them YouTubers? Who did that? Think about it. Use your head. Who fed all that shit to them cats? Wilder. Everything they was saying from February till he popped back up in October, everything they was saying is what he said when he popped up back in October. AJ said they did sign in a tweet, though. All right, Cat, you a grown up. You know when you sign a lease agreement for an apartment, they probably did sign something, but not everything. You know how many fucking pieces of paper you gotta sign when you entering into a new lease? You gotta sign your name like 30 motherfucking times. So they probably did sign something, maybe something, but I'm telling you, it's something that's not right here, man. I'm trying to tell you. DLG was good. Everybody follow Digital Image Creations. Some of the best graphics on Instagram. Wilder wanted to be in the next Creed. Yo, I'm trying to tell you, why you think he always polishing his acting chops, bro? That dude is an actor. Aram had a site ready for the third. What I'm trying to tell you, Sean, you don't think that all of that happened a little bit too fast? How does Bruce Trampler know on Saturday that Fury's going to fight on pay-per-view in July if Weinstein didn't rule till Monday? Then how you knew he was going to be on pay-per-view? How you knew that? If Fury does lose, he will talk about inactivity. Bro, you looking at it as a boxing match, and I've been telling y'all in every video I've done since that, yo, I really don't think this is a boxing match no more. I really don't. This is This is playing out like a story. It's not playing out like no boxing stuff. This is playing out like a story that somebody wrote. First, Fury has the monumental mental health comeback. He beats his demons. He beats addiction. Everybody like him. He's a hero. Now it's Wilder's turn to do that. And stuff, it don't happen that way in real life. It do happen that way if you wrote it to happen that way. It's all playing like the yo, trying to tell you, Ozzy. I'm starting to think that the conspiracy initially, all that stuff that they said, remember where it came from and remember who fed it to them. All of that was to help sell a third fight. But when the pandemic hit, well, you can't sell a third fight now. We can't have no crowd. So they had to keep hope alive for the rest of the year because they couldn't fight. Like, yo, we got to keep the fight hot. We still trying to do this fight. So we need a fake controversy. We need something to keep this fight interesting. Let's tell everybody that Fury had a shoehorn in his gloves. Let's tell everybody that I was drugged and Kenny Bayless don't like me. In my corner, he sabotaged me. World Wilder Entertainment, bruh. WWE. I'm trying to tell you. I don't believe these folk. I don't believe these people, and you shouldn't either. If Wilder go in there and he has some miracle, mystical, monumental moment, you need to start asking yourself, hold up, when you ever seen something like that? When you ever seen somebody get beat like that? Not a cerebral boxer that slips and moves and parries and jabs and feints and does all his cerebral stuff. He ain't one of those. We all know that. He's a puncher. And normally when a puncher gets Jeff Lacey'd, like he got Jeff Lacey'd, that's it, bro. They ain't never the same after that. So if you go in there and you have this mystical miracle moment, like, hold up, dog. When does that ever happen? Nah, this is fake, bro. Y'all wrote that. If I were Eddie, I'd do anything in my power to be an absolute nuisance. Yo, look, if I'm Anthony Joshua and Eddie, I'm like, look, man, I don't know what y'all got going on over there, but I know what I got going on over here. I don't care who win your fight. I really don't care. Whoever win, 60-40, take it or leave it. I'm not playing with y'all no more. Wilder wasted my time from 2017 to 2019, and Fury wasted my time from 2020 to 2021. Y'all both wasted my time. Y'all not going to do that no more. From now on, it's 60-40, and if you don't want it, hey, you don't want it. It's cool. I'm going to get money anyway. They ain't going to be mad at me. I'm going to get money anyway. For all the stuff y'all say about me, I still make more than y'all. I fought last year. I fought. You didn't. Why? Because you don't generate money like me. So if you don't want to fight, if you don't want 40%, oh, well, that's cool. I don't got the WBC title anyway. So, I mean, I ain't losing nothing. Appreciate that, John. Musical, mystical, magical. Yo, look, man. This entire fiasco has costed me a little bit of bread, which I have every intention of paying Art Man's bug-out ass as soon as it's official. I don't have a problem keeping my word. I'll keep my word. But looking at this situation and how everything happened, this shit fake. This shit is fake. You wrote it that way. Stuff don't happen this way in boxing, bro. It don't. It don't. When Jeff Lacey got picked apart by Joe Calzaghe, look at what happened to Jeff Lacey after that. Look at what happened. Fury's still getting a bigger purse for the trilogy. You're right. But who got more guaranteed in the first fight? Wilder. Wilder got $1 million more guaranteed in the first fight than the second fight, I believe. In the second fight, they both got 30-30 plus 50-50 of the pay-per-view upside, which we know it was no upside because it flopped. A lot of people struggle with that. They don't understand. If you don't break even, if you don't get your re-up, you flopped. You didn't get your re-up. You needed to sell 1 million to get your re-up. You didn't do that. And don't take it from me. It didn't come from me. It came from Bruce Trampler. It's all good, bro. I ain't worried. Like, what's $130, bro? What's $130? Seriously. Like, I ain't worried about that. I'm past that. Right now, what I'm telling you is this shit fake, bro. This shit is fake. Boxing science dictates if Fury won that fight, and that was a real fight, if he won that way, then what's supposed to happen after that is he's supposed to win in similar fashion a third time. That's what's supposed to happen. Remember, you went in there the first fight. It was a lot of people that thought he won the first fight, but they called it a draw. It is what it is. The second fight, he beat you from pillar to post from start to finish. Normally, a puncher like Wild, now you don't recover from that. Because you ain't got the boxing brain for all the feinting and the cuteness and the slickness and the nah. It might flop. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. It's a lot of things I might end up buying. I had to send Bug out his bread. I'm gonna have to do that too. But I won't buy this fight. The only people that's excited about this fight is people that use crack streams. The people that steal pay-per-views. That's the only ones that's excited about it. So I'm like, yo, I don't even know if this is really gonna get money. Maybe it will. I don't know. We'll see. It's my son over there getting spanked, being loud. It's fake. It teaches us not to get into more issues that fighters take to court. We don't have all the info. Well, that's what's weird, bro. If it was legit, it would have went to court. You can't fake the funk if it go to court. You can't fake the funk, but you could always hire an arbitrator. You're like, yeah, I hired this guy. He's the arbitrator. We have to abide by whatever he says, not knowing. You know that guy, bro. That's your man. If it would have went to court, it would have been more believable to me, but it didn't go to court. Y'all went through an arbitrator. He could reach a decision that gets upheld in court, but it's not court. You're not going to the courthouse. What this is a dude, y'all basically making an agreement that whatever he says is legally binding. That's what arbitration is. Based in a nutshell, in one sentence. Whatever he says is legally binding. And we pick him because he's a former judge. He has knowledge of the law, obviously. He's well-versed in legalese. So that's why you would go with a former judge. But in a nutshell, arbitration is just y'all agreeing to abide by, legally, whatever he says. You could... I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you. Trying to tell you, I don't believe these cats, bro. I don't believe these cats. I don't. I think it's fake. And if I'm right, Wilder's gonna win a third fight. If I'm jinxing him, that's even better because then his fans will go away. I don't believe these cats, man. I know a con job when I see one. I know it looks a lot. It looks a lot like a lot of people have seen the script. We over here, all of us are thinking, yo, this is boxing. This is about a boxing match. And what I'm seeing is, yo, these cats, did y'all see the script? Did you see the third act? It looks like you saw the third act. Like you're privy to this information. You know what this is. It's fake. It's fake.
What's fake?
It's fake, Mark. It's fake.
What do Fury,
what do you expect to happen in the third fight, Mark?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure.
I think it's fake, and I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna pick Wilder to win the fight by outboxing Tyson Fury. I'm gonna pick him to win that way. If I'm right, this is fake. If I'm wrong, which wouldn't be bad also, if I'm wrong, Wilder's fans go away.
So wait, what you're saying is the trilogy was planned since before the first fight even happened?
Possibly. Or at some point after. Possibly.
And the way the results panned themselves out, Wilder took an unmerciful beating, and now this one Fury is probably going to take an unmerciful beating on purpose. Hey man, stranger things have happened in boxing. Then they'll sell the fourth fight to us, right?
I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
And create two Hall of Famers in the process.
Maybe there won't be a fourth fight, bro. Maybe Fury will retire. Look, when all this kicked off, right? When all this kicked off, Fury was retired. He was retired from boxing. He was morbidly obese. out of the clear blue sky, he decides, oh, I really want to fight Wilder. I know there's more money in a Joshua fight, but I really want to fight Wilder. I want to fight Wilder. All right. Fights Wilder. It gets ruled a draw. I'm like, okay. The way it works out, the first fight's a draw. Fury's got to win in the column. Now it's Wilder's turn to have a win in the column. That's how it looks. He's gonna win. He's gonna win a third fight.
Well, I tell you what I genuinely believe. As long as Fury takes Wilder seriously, he'll ragdoll him again.
You still think you're watching a boxing match, Mark?
Yeah, because although I'm just saying, if it's not a boxing match, right? That would mean that the second one wasn't a boxing match. Which I'll just turn around and I'll say that Deontay Wilder deserves every Oscar ever for fucking taking and trying to swing as hard as he could and getting slipped like that and taking those punches. Not only that, his ear literally bleeding and a hematoma on the side of his skull, all for a fixed fight.
Bro. I saw Mankind. I saw Mankind bleeding from his head. I saw my man Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. He was bleeding from his head. My man Hulk Hogan. This is all WWE cats bleed because the injuries are real. Because they're still performing acrobatics. They're still getting hit.
So what you're telling me is, when they were up in the clinch and Kenny Bayless was separating them, what he did was he whipped out the razor and little nick right there.
No, I believe he really got punched in his ear.
Okay.
No, I believe that. I believe, yeah, like you really getting hit. It's not that. It's that you decided it's your turn to lose, yo. Wilder, second act is up. It's your turn to lose. In the third act, Fury loses. What happens after that? I believe, and if I'm wrong, fuck it. I believe Fury will retire if he loses the third fight. He'll retire. In the meantime, Deontay Wilder will not fight Anthony Joshua. It won't happen. But what they will do is try to use that as like, yo, Wilder's the Phoenix of Arizona. He came back. He did the unthinkable. He got his belt back. I don't think Fury cares about boxing.
You know, Julius, I actually am under a different delusion. I think if Tyson Fury wins or loses to Wilder, he's going to retire.
Maybe. I don't think he wants to know. A lot of people keep saying, right? They keep saying, oh, well, why? Because I've proposed this. And the answer that I keep getting back is, well, there's more money in an AJ fight. They're not going to get no $75 million apiece fighting each other. So why would they do that? Well, look at Amir Khan and Kell Brook. Sometimes motherfuckers just don't want to know. They don't want to give each other the satisfaction.
Well, Julius, just hear my logic here and tell me if you see the logic in the room. Wilder walks up to Fury, says, look, you can fight AJ twice for $100 million each fight. I want $20 million. Fury says no, proceeds to request a bare knuckle fight in a car park off of Joshua for $20 million.
Exactly. It's like everything Fury's brand of whatever it is he's selling, it's past the sell by date. The Dossers, the no man born of his, it's all tired, bro. We heard it all. It's your time to lose. It's your turn. And if I'm right, he will lose. He will. And he might lose in a fashion that nobody's expecting him to lose. If I'm right, this is fake. If I'm wrong, Fury wins. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong. I think this is fake. I think it's scripted because when do you see punchers rebound off of losses like that? When Sergey rebounded off the loss to Elena Alvarez, we know Sergey got a deep amateur background. So when he had the rematch, what did he do? He fought like an amateur. Stayed behind his jab. He didn't try to take the guy out.
Hold on a minute. There was a fight recently where a puncher rebounded off a loss. Right?
Dillian White.
Yeah.
Dillian White.
Yeah.
All right. No. You're right. Dillian rebounded.
I think if you listen to Big's breakdown of that
Wait, John. It's a difference. Dillian was winning a fight with Povetkin until he got smoked. He wasn't thoroughly battered round after round after round. The one that was battered was Povetkin until he landed that uppercut.
Well,
the
that's
difference.
all true. And I also think the way that Beats broke that down is when you're scared, it can go in one of two ways. You can go all out attack when you're scared, which I think is what Dillian did.
Yeah, they
to
both
be fair.
did. They both fought like they wanted to go home early.
Yeah. Dillian
They
was
both
just
fought like that.
because I mean, I don't like Dillian's footwork at all. I think it's horrible. And then I researched it up, and he did pull bullets out of his own leg. So if you look at one of his legs, it doesn't move properly. So I do think when Dillian's scared, he's going to war. He's not going to be cautious.
All right, I want to get the boxing source in on this. Boxing source, what do you think, man? Okay.
That speaks volumes.
Well, no, I mean, it changed my mind. Like, I didn't think about it that way. That's actually true. I think it's I think it's fake, and I'm convinced because I'm like, yo, dog, like, the prince calls you, you announce it.
Yeah, but did he really call him? I mean, I can explain all of that quite comfortably.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I can give a different take on it to it being real.
Okay.
In that, because it was only December that Joshua beat Pulev.
Yeah.
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 So they tried to make the Ajit Kabiel fight happen, and then they probably realised that actually no, this contract's going to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And for a fight that nobody wanted, and really, there was nothing really to put Fury's name out into the press other than linking it with AJ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not so sure they've been going to arbitration and all of that's really been going on behind the scenes. I just think they've been stringing Eddie along because they've been waiting. And Bob's been saying from day dot, he wants to do Wilder Fury in Vegas when there's an audience. So they've got all this free publicity. Fury's name's been everywhere when really they had to sit it out until he was allowed to fight Wilder because he couldn't fight anybody else. Because they tried to do it with Ajit Kabiel. They've played Eddie a little bit.
I believe they did play him. I mean,
whether Eddie thought, well, I've got nothing to lose here or not, I don't know. I heard Beats making that argument the other day. I can see the logic of it. But for me, if Eddie knew that this arbitration was real and that they could lose, I think they'd have just made the Usyk fight because it could have happened by now.
I'll say this. I'll say this.
So
how much effort, John, does it take for them to lie? How much effort does it take?
Let me just finish. Bob's done nothing. He's kept Fury's name all the way out there. And now that people are allowed back in Vegas, Bob has got a primetime ESPN pay-per-view and a stadium booked. So that part is definitely playing Eddie. Now, whether the fight's real or not, I can see the logic in what you're saying, but we're never going to know, are we?
I mean, we're never going to know 100%, but I know that stuff in real life and stuff in boxing, it doesn't happen that way. There are very few fairy tales in boxing. Remember, Miguel Cotto tried to retire off a fairy tale win against what was this kid? Saddam Ali. He gets beat.
Oh, good God.
He gets beat. Man, yeah. There are no fairy tales in boxing, bro. There's like contrary to popular opinion.
But where's the fairy tale here, Julius? Because for
the
me,
rise of the Phoenix of Tuscaloosa.
It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet.
Yo,
it does happen.
And I'm trying to warn you. I'm trying to warn you.
But also, have you seen Fury out of his tree dancing on tables? Sugar Hill taking his top off out of his tree dancing on tables.
All right, now.
No, like that's not. It's not a good sign. Like they could fuck him out and get knocked out.
You realize
anyway.
that is being put out there by someone who wanted you to see it.
I understand that, but I still think they were genuinely out their tree.
I mean, I think they were genuinely having a drink, but looking at how things happen, they don't happen that. Oh, so you guys are just going to be 1-1-1 with each other? And if it happens that way, that's not suspicious. You're 1 and 1 and 1.
It's 100% suspicious if it happens that way.
Because
I've been telling people, I predicted Fury to knock him out as soon as he went to Sugar Hill. I'm sure I've said it here before about the interview on you don't mind me saying about another channel, do you, Judy?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, it's on True School Sports. They're interviewing Stacey McKinley in 2017, saying when you've got the Kronk style, someone throwing that big right hand from far back, you've got to step to their power to get inside and take them out. And that's a Kronk skill. Step into the power is a specific Kronk skill, and that's the way to beat Deontay Wilder. And as soon as he went,
John, I get that you're looking at this.
I predicted all of that, and I know you know it all. But all I'm saying is, so that result that we saw with Fury against Wilder, for me, could easily be a miscalculation that they didn't think Fury could punch. And the reality is, if Fury could punch, he probably would have knocked Wilder out cold. Fury actually can't punch.
John, Boxing Wave just said it. Boxing Wave just said it. Logically, Wilder should get dominated again, but I have this strange feeling we might get a repeat of what happened in the 12th round in the first. I'm trying to tell.
I smell a setup.
I'm not ruling it out.
I smell a whole setup.
Boxing Source, it's your turn. What do you think is happening here, and should we call Commissioner Gordon?
I smell a setup, man. I mean, if you think about it, go back to 2018, right? And if you remember, Hearn and Joshua were trying to make that fight with Deontay Wilder. And when the fight fell through, Wilder said something about, the contract is, the rematch clause is one way, and, they didn't have no date, no venue. When all of that stuff fell through, it didn't take that long for Wilder to have an agreement with Fury. That's when he came back. Now, they didn't have a date and venue announced when they verbally announced the fight. Okay? We didn't know until later. So that's step one. Fight one, you have the draw, right? Fight two doesn't happen because Fury has a deal with Top Rank. Fast forward, you have fight two. Fury beats Wilder, embarrasses him, stops him. Okay? You have the whole thing with the pandemic. Wilder states on PBC podcast that he had an injury to his bicep. Okay? But then you have Bob Arum open the door and tell people that the contract expired. When he said that, that is what opened the door for Eddie Hearn and Joshua to try to move towards an undisputed fight.
Now, Box, I want to say this because this is one thing that I found suspicious, and this is a part of what gave me a false sense of confidence, right? Under normal circumstances, if you have an actionable contract that is still active, and you see that somebody's trying not to honor that contract, what you can do almost immediately, cease and desist letter. You cannot go fight AJ. And this is something that would have sewed everything up last year. No, you cannot go fight AJ. I'm sending this the same way that Eddie Hearn sent a cease and desist letter to Telemundo is the same way that, you could get a cease and desist letter and send that to Matchroom. Like, no, they can't fight with you, bro. They got to fight us. They're still under contract. That did not happen. What did happen is arbitration. I'm like, on an expired contract, it's expired. If there's a clause in it, that's expired.
Can I say one thing to the expired contract?
Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing to this expired contract. That's if we can believe that Bob Arum told us the truth saying the contract was expired.
Right.
Now, this is what I'll say. Mark, if the contract wasn't expired, right, let's play with that. If it wasn't expired, and I'm not ruling nothing out because I don't believe anything I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, let's say the contract really isn't expired. Cease and desist letter. Easy peasy. It's that much easier for you to send a cease and desist. You can't enter into negotiations for 4 months with Eddie Hearn if the contract is active. You could kill that as soon as you hear about that.
That is, of course, if Al Heyman wasn't thinking to himself, no, we want to allow this to be promoted through the back of this and allow Eddie Hearn to do this without doing the cease and desist letter while both parties know the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Gentlemen,
I mean, I was going to point that out. The other thing is as well, with the Ajit Kabayel fight not happening, we never really got a satisfactory explanation as to why that was.
We didn't. We didn't hear that
excessively underpaid.
The story that I was told, and this is just people saying shit. This ain't even from Fury, Frank Warren, or Bob Arum. Is that the money wasn't there for Fury, and he wasn't going to have that fight for?
That's how it's been pumped out all over the place. Yeah, but I mean, there's no credible sources for it at all.
Right, but I wanted to continue on this whole thing with the arbitration thing, right?
All right.
Yeah, mediation, and then the next step is arbitration. Regardless of what happened, both of those things cost money unless if you get a serious hookup. So are they saying that they actually spent money for all of those months to go through that particular process just for this decision to come down?
That's what look, like I said, what stands out to me is you can't get into negotiations with Eddie Hearn for 4 fucking months if you have an actionable contract. If you have an actionable contract and you want to stop Fury from going into that fight, all you got to do is send a cease and desist letter. That's what Eddie Hearn did to Amanda Serrano. That's how it works. I got a contract, bro. You got a prior engagement. You can't go into nothing with them.
But they never signed anything, did they?
But it was well known. It was well known.
No. But what you're missing is, if Team Wilder know that they haven't got an intention of actually signing, then they don't have a reason to send a cease and desist.
Now, John? Now,
I'm happy to say that.
Now, are you seeing the Matrix?
But Julius, I'm happy to think there's been collusion on that.
Of course,
I'm happy to think that there's collusion. Whether that means that this fight is scripted or not,
that's another thing.
It's a separate issue.
Bro. Mark.
I'm not saying it isn't, Julius.
Mark, no. I want to ask Mark because Mark is a Taurus. I know how his mind works.
Hey, we're both Tauruses.
Mark made up his mind already. I know how your mind works too, John. And that tells me that y'all made up your mind already. Y'all made up your...
No, I haven't.
You have.
No, I haven't.
Shout out to Sugar Ray Robinson.
Right, this is my mind.
Both of y'all have Fury winning the fight.
No. This is my point. Right, because it's so, we don't even have to wait very long. 24th of July. What's that, 6 weeks?
Right.
No, it's 2 months.
Right.
We'll see. We'll see.
Tell your bookie. Oh, Wilder.
Man.
Anyway, although to be fair, a fight of this magnitude being announced that quickly out of nowhere after one ruling that fast, with everything already pre-booked.
I want you to look at Bob Arum. Over at the CIA, they taught me a little trick. Bob Arum's shoulders have been all the way up to his ears. They taught me a trick. Bob Arum's shoulders have been all the way up here throughout this AJ situation.
What did you want to ask me, Mark? What did you want to ask me?
Now, wait a minute. Let me tell you about the trick. Bob Arum's shoulders have been up here. That denotes tension. The entire time this AJ situation has been going on, that whole thing, he's been stressed.
Do you think so? I think he's been.
Wait, I'm not done. Look at him at the weigh-in for Taylor versus Ramirez. I mean, the press conference for Taylor versus Ramirez. He looks like he just smoked a joint. He's relaxed. He's got color in his face. He's not pallid the way he was on Boxing Social. Telling you, man.
I'm now ready for Taylor versus Ramirez on Saturday. I don't have to worry about no arbitration. I could go forward with this fight with Fury and Wilder. I don't care about no step-aside fees. We're going to get Wilder out of the way, and then that's it. Let's just have this fight between Taylor and Ramirez on Saturday night.
I want to get Troy in on this conversation. Troy, I believe it's staged. What do you believe? All right, Troy froze up. He's caught in the matrix.
Completely agree with everything
Looks
you
like-
just said, Troy.
It looks like he's muted.
He's mute. No, he can't be muted. Oh yeah, he is muted, but he muted himself though. I didn't mute you. I didn't mute.
I don't think he's unmuted himself. I think he's struggling to drive and.
Yeah, I think he's driving, and the connection is probably a bad zone.
Oh,
Well,
man.
I'm telling you, all I'm trying to tell you guys is I'm trying to warn you of what's coming.
Julius,
What's gonna happen?
if
What I
what you're
believe,
predicting-
listen to me, goddammit. What I believe is gonna happen is Wilder's gonna beat Fury, and after that, there will be no undisputed champion for 100 years. There won't be one. It won't happen.
So Julius, you're saying that Wilder's gonna win this fight?
Yeah, I'm no. When it comes to that, I'm not playing. When it comes to that, I'm not playing. I firmly believe he's gonna win the fight, and if I'm wrong, I'll be very happy. I'll be super happy if I'm wrong. But I don't.
Can we have can you and I have a bet on it then? So I can take away some of your joy in being wrong.
You prick.
I want to step in here real quick, gentlemen, if you don't mind, and say something.
Roy, is it real? Is it fake? What is it?
Deontay Wilder is retired. I don't see a venue. I don't see a date. I don't see anything. He is
July
retired.
24th, Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas,
Okay,
Nevada.
great. Wait a second. When, Mark? When?
July
Look, he's hitting the
24th,
pads with Malik
supposedly.
Scott. He's hitting the pads with Malik Scott. He's jabbing, he's feinting. He's doing all
Yeah,
types of shit.
listen to me, Julius, right? Listen to me, right? You know, Julius, right?
Yeah,
Cooney trains every day too, right?
that's true.
I guess he's coming back too, right?
That's true. No, that is true. That's a fair point.
Okay, then. He's retired. He's retired.
You don't think he's gonna fight this guy?
He's retired. And if he does come back, and if he does win, you will know that this is all a horse.
You know what?
This is all a horse and pony show. This is
I'll
fake.
take the bet.
It's phony. Fake and phony. That's all this is. If he comes back and win after losing twice, then this is fake and phony.
That's what I'm trying. Now, Mark, I'll take the bet. I got $30 on Bambi.
No. I don't want money.
What do you want?
I'll DM it to you.
Hey,
So what did you want to ask me
What the
about
hell are we
anyway?
talking about here? What are we talking about?
It's nothing uncouth. It's nothing uncouth.
The dude is retired.
I'm telling
Nothing
you, man.
else.
I think it's honest. I got. Let me pull up Syph Bud. Syph, I'm dead serious. I honestly believe it's fake, and this is what I'm saying. On that premise, because I don't believe it's real. If I'm right, Wilder will win. So on that premise, I'm gonna go with Deontay Wilder to thoroughly outbox Tyson Fury. Not because I think he actually is, but because it's fake. I believe it's fake. Like, nah, bro, you can't get beat like that and rebound. Like, nah, you got beat from round one.
Julius,
You got stopped.
Julius, you're accusing us of having our mind made up already. But you definitely got your mind made up. You're confident Wilder's going to win. And he's going to win in spectacular fashion.
I believe he will.
I mean, I'm not saying... Look, if that happens, then I think you're probably right.
Hey,
But
Look.
we haven't really got that long to wait and find out. That's my only point.
right.
No, it's great.
No, I think they're going to announce
find out
the fight
shortly.
next
We're
week.
going to find
They'll
out
do a
shortly.
Full press conference for it next week. I think Usyk is going to be pretty much announced next week as well.
Yeah.
There you go, Julius.
But
You know what
the
has me
biggest
scratching
question
my
I've
head
got,
about
does
this?
anybody actually know what Dillian White's status is at the moment with the WBC?
They're not going to order that fight, John. We've been waiting for the WBC to do their job for how long? You honestly think they're going to let Dillian get in the way of the trilogy now?
No, not of the trilogy. Not of the trilogy. After the trilogy.
I'm telling you, man. Tone, it's fake, bro. And if I'm right, look, at worst, right? Let's say I'm wrong, right? Fury wins, and that's what you expect in this situation. If what you expect in this situation is, okay, well, Fury did all right in the first fight. Maybe he did enough to get a decision. In the second fight, he beat him comprehensively, right? He beat him from pillar to post.
Being nice, he whipped his ass.
he whooped his ass, right? That's what you're telling yourself because you're looking at it as a boxing match. I'm not looking at it as that no more. I'm like, nah, bruh. And he come back and he has the monumental comeback, the Phoenix Rising.
Okay, Julius. Here, I've got a question about this theory you're putting forward.
No, right.
How are they going to make any money out of it? Because so far as I'm aware, they haven't really.
That's all right. Now that's the gamble, my good friend John. They're hoping that this will catapult Wilder to the status that Anthony Joshua has.
But why is Bob going to get involved in that?
Bob is not
staging all of this.
You're not letting me explain.
Okay, go on.
Bob
Julius, I sent it to you. I sent you the bet.
Bob is not in on the grift. Not all of it. It's just like NASA. Everything is compartmentalized. No one individual knows everything. Bob probably isn't in on it to the extent that he always knew there was going to be a third Wilder fight. What he doesn't know is that Fury's going to throw it. He doesn't know that because that doesn't benefit him. He thinks, well, my God beat the hell out of him the last time. Why wouldn't I want to go in there and get that money?
But that's still not explaining to me why Bob's gone to the trouble of booking like Allegiant Stadium, because they're not going to sell that out.
I wanted to get into that because my thing is, why would you book Allegiant Stadium, a stadium that's 60,000 plus in attendance, when the first fight you didn't have a sellout? The second fight, you pretty much did have, a good amount of people, but that wasn't a sellout. So now you're telling me you're reserving a venue that's 60,000 people. That's a new stadium that costs, man, for booking that costs a lot of money.
Now,
you mean to tell me that you're doing that for July 24th, supposedly? Come on now.
That's the date they've got it booked for.
Listen, John, I'm trying to help you, all right? Bob is involved to the extent that, one, he wants to stick it to Eddie. Two, I don't think Bob knows that Fury would throw the fight, but I honestly believe Fury's going to throw the fight because this is fake. I don't think Bob knows it's fake.
Okay. So let's accept all that stage of it, right? So we're that far in, right? It's all on a need-to-know basis. Everything's compartmentalized.
That worked.
Yeah.
Listen.
Okay.
Wait.
Next question.
Listen.
Next question.
I worked for the CIA for a number of years.
Julius, this is
based on Bob's body language.
How can Wilder fund paying Fury off to lose and then go and retire?
Yo, shut up! I can't hear what the dude's saying. I can't hear what the dude's saying. Shut up! All right, now, John.
This is about
where'd John go?
Wilder. I'm here.
All right, John. Repeat your question.
Right. Okay. How is Wilder gonna pay off Fury to take the dive? Because they're a bit strapped for cash over there at PBC.
Okay,
they're not floating with.
Wait. That's a very easy question to answer. Like one. All right. If you know the order that these fights are going to happen in, how hard is it for you to make several bets with several books around the world and make money?
Okay.
You know the order that the fights.
You're using the gambling
shut up!
odds. You're using the gambling odds. Okay.
All right, okay. Now I reiterate: if you know the order, if you knew that Fury versus Wilder won,
okay, look, this all works because I have my suspicions about certain fights that are historical. That if I'm going to wear them on there, people are probably going to get upset about it.
Listen, I want everybody to go back and watch Wilder versus Malik Scott. All right.
Okay.
Look.
Right?
That's a suspicious fight. I don't need to go back and watch it.
Why would you put any? Why would you do that to your audience? I want everybody to watch Malik Scott.
How do you knock a guy out by punching him on the wrist? He punched him on the wrist.
To be fair, Luis Ortiz threw a punch, missed Malik Scott. He took a knee and he tried to take a 10 count, and the referee picked him up and said, "Nah, this ain't happening." Malik Scott's a bitch. We're not even gonna get into that. But Julius, I sent you the terms for our bet. Go look.
What DMs are you talking about? Because what you talking about? The StreamYard DMs or the Twitter DMs?
Twitter DMs, bro.
All right. Let's go look at this.
Yeah. Do you accept? Because I know that video is going to be big, dude. I'm not that stupid.
These intricate bets, like Jesus Christ, like you got to draw up contracts for these bets these guys come up with. Like, I'm gonna have to call Daniel Weinstein now. Like,
yes or no? Yes or no?
Let me think about it because I'm still trying to rationalize this conspiracy theory.
So you mentioned his name there, Daniel
Weinstein.
Right? Him and Bob have got previous, haven't they?
I mean, I'm just gonna ask you a question. You think that Bob Arum and Daniel Weinstein don't get their eggs from the same grocery store?
Oh, I'm confident that they do.
Wow.
Yeah, this is why I'm not so sure that Bob isn't on this whole long con.
I don't think Bob Arum eats any protein.
The value of a Wilder Fury third fight. I think he's miscalculating that value.
All right, John. Let me explain this. There are two miscalculations associated with this endeavor on the part of Bob Arum because he's old. He's old, and the world
smokes a lot of weed. Can't be good for your brain by the time you're 90.
No, he's got a fantastic brain, but he's not as sharp as he used to be. I believe he's involved to the extent that they are colluding with Wilder's people to see a third fight happen, that they never had any intention of fighting Anthony Joshua. To that extent, I believe he knows.
I think we're all agreed on that point.
Now, to the extent that he knows that Fury's going to throw the fight, no, he doesn't know that because that doesn't benefit him. It might benefit Fury because Fury can place a few large bets with some bookies, make himself some money for throwing the fight with other people. You know what I mean? Like, yada, yada. If you know the order that the fights are going to happen in, how much money can that make you? If you know.
Well, Fury was an underdog in the first two. And Wilder's going to be the underdog in this fight. So that is all feasible. It's not beyond the,
Listen,
like I said, I hold some unconventional views on certain fights.
In my many years working for the CIA, Bob Arum has. I'm trying to tell y'all something. Y'all don't notice it, but you're gonna see it now. You're gonna notice it. The entire time that Bob Arum has been in negotiations for this Joshua fight with Eddie Hearn, right? The entire time that's been going on, Bob and Frank have been very, very unhappy and very tense because that was the hard part. Now you've got to convince Eddie to do this shit and string him along. This is the stressful part. That part is over now. You know what I mean? That's done. Now Bob isn't pallid anymore. He's got color in his face. He's happy. He's got a little in-house fight happening on Saturday. Not sure if you heard about it. Undisputed title fight. He's not stressed anymore. But the whole time this has been going on, this man was stressed. He's pale. His shoulders are up here where his ears are because he's tense. I tell you.
Man, Daniel Weinstein became the second most hated Weinstein in America after that judgment.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And if I'm right, Wilder will win comprehensively in July or August. If I'm wrong, then at minimum, we never have to deal with Wilder's fans again after that. So it's a win-win for you guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
because we know that Wilder was never intending on becoming an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Yo, dog. Antonio said, I have a certain set of special skills. Look, it became apparent to me that something is wrong here on Monday. Something is like, this is not how you go about this. If Wilder wants a third fight, right? If his focus from the very beginning that he entered into a mediation arbitration, right? You have an actionable contract. You entered into mediation in November. If your goal was to stop them from negotiating with Anthony Joshua because you want a third fight, why didn't you send a cease and desist letter?
Probably because Wilder's entire plan was probably they wanted the step-aside money, and now that they're not actually getting it, he's going to have to fight it.
That's you still think you're looking at a goddamn boxing match.
Now hold on. You don't think you're looking at a boxing match, so accept my bet.
As well, Julius.
I'll take the bet. Whatever the bet is, I'll take the bet. I don't even know what the bet is. I'll take it.
It's the one that you said there's a big contract involved.
Well, I gotta call my lawyer. I'm making all these goddamn bets. I gotta call my lawyer. Revise the
Right. I want to
Wait.
put this idea out there because of Mark's made a pretty valid point here.
Okay,
So
hold on. Wait, let me answer this question, John. The reason I know that the cease and desist letter wasn't sent was because they were negotiating up until last Sunday, bro. They were literally
definitely no cease and desist letter. That hasn't happened, 100%.
All right, go ahead, John.
Okay. So Mark's pointed out there's a possibility because there's been a gag order on these events, so nobody really knows what's happened.
Yeah.
But Wilder just wanted financial compensation, and that part of what Bob said was true. Now, the decision of the arbitrator is legally binding. Both parties have signed to that. Yeah. Now, if Bob wanted the Wilder Fury fight and Weinstein's in his pocket, Bob's walked away a winner out of this. You've just conceded that Bob and Daniel go shopping together, possibly, go to the strip club together. These guys are quite good pals. So Wilder's going along thinking he's going to get a big chunk of cash for doing absolutely nothing. Then on Monday, Bob plays everybody. He's got his stadium booked, ESPN. They didn't want a pay-per-view in Saudi at sort of lunchtime in America, did they?
Let me address this point. DJN, all right, when Matchroom found out that Amanda Serrano was trying to make an appearance on Telemundo, right? She hadn't even made the appearance yet. They were able to send a cease and desist letter to Telemundo before she even got to make the appearance. So no, you cannot talk to whoever you like while you're still under contract. You literally can't. Hell, while you're under contract, there's certain things you can't even say sometimes because of what's in the contract.
Unless you want them to make these talks to gain free promotion for a fight that y'all already know could happen, or the other option is that you want to make as much money from a step-aside fee without having to do anything, and then they call your bluff.
So these are all realistic possibilities that me and Mark have just put to you there. I mean, do you agree with the way I put it, Mark?
Yes.
You cannot, bro. You can't negotiate your next fight, which is set to go down in August, if you're still under contract with a guy as of last year.
Yeah, but they never signed that contract, though, did they? They just kept pushing it back to Eddie. We need to make this change. I don't like the way you put the comma there. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do this.
Yeah, I don't like blue. More a fan of yellow.
Exactly,
I prefer papaya, no mangoes, please. Like,
all this messing about. Then on the Sunday before the announcement, Fury still doesn't fight, but he takes to social media, says the fight's done, so no one can accuse him of being a ducker. And then, it's not my fault on Monday, the arbitrator did.
There's no coincidence that the arbitration ends right as Vegas says it's allowing fans back in.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. The fix is in.
The fix is in, and I'm looking.
But it's Julius, the type of fix we're discussing. That's all.
You're 0-4 in bets with me. You're about to go 0-5.
I'm just telling you, man.
But you look. I can see both potential. I can see all three potential opportunities. Wilder wanted to step aside. Wilder and Fury were always going to have this fight, and they just saw it as a good way to play.
I agree with that.
Or the one that Mark's. No, I don't know how many is that. So Wilder and Fury were on it together. Wilder.
You freeze?
The John Doe?
No.
Go ahead, keep going.
I've got fat fingers. Or your perspective viewpoint that this is just all scripted WWE style. Because if we look at the Rowley fight against your countryman Julius, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Mourinho's.
Yeah, that was scripted. I mean, that guy would like. In terms of robberies that I've seen, that's actually one of the worst I've ever seen. So I do think the PBC do script fights.
Don't you know how many draws happen over there? Don't you know?
Yeah. Look. All of that is legitimate. They definitely seem to have predetermined results.
Like Broner against that Puerto Rican kid. But
Lipinets against Clayton. Nobody knows Clayton from a hole in the wall, but Lipinets, he fought Mikey. They want to use Lipinets to bring along another fighter. Lipinets is more beatable. Lipinets is more beatable than Castillo Clayton, and he's more familiar than Castillo Clayton. So they give Lipinets a draw in a fight that he clearly lost. Watch the fight. He didn't win that. That ain't no draw. He lost.
I agree with all of that, right? And I do believe that there's a high probability that this whole build-up for this third fight, everything has been highly scripted. I think that's extremely fair. I just think in the ring, Fury's going to beat the shit out of him, and it's going to be brutal.
All right, so let's put it this way. You think that there was collusion to the extent that there was always going to be a third fight. Am I right to assume that?
Yes.
So you think the collusion wasn't necessarily to throw a fight or to put on a scripted saga, a scripted trilogy, but to the extent that there will be a third fight regardless of whatever, there will be a third fight.
And because of how badly the result went, they needed a way to promote this off of something else. And they've done that through means of all different types of fictionalized material, from Glovegate to Fractured Skulls to all of this fucking crap nonsense, to building the name off of the back of the #1 heavyweight in the world by name.
That's I'm not going to lie, that's compelling. That's compelling. But Wilder stands out. Your plan against the guys. All right, first, the Glovegate. In your version of this plan, is Glovegate real? Does he, to the extent that he actually believes these things, or was that simply staged, fabricated controversy? All of that is made up, and they know it.
Maybe he doesn't believe it, but his fans do, and he backs up his fans in those claims so that they, even though not all of them will, at least a lot of them will put out the word and spread that message so more people may buy it and not get on fire.
That's what I mean, Mark. That's what I mean, Mark. Did they use a manufactured controversy as a way to help sell a third fight that otherwise would have been cold product? Is that what you think is going on?
Yeah, which I've been saying for months on Unrivaled Boxing Talk.
Unrivaled Boxing Talk. The Boxing Talk is not rivaled. It's paralleled, but it's not rivaled, which is. See, I agree with you to that extent that I honestly believe that, because remember where it came from. Remember where that information came from and who fed it to those individuals that propagated it. It came from the source. Now, we didn't really we suspected it, but everything that Wilder said when he finally crawled out of his cave in October is everything they were saying since February. So you can see where it all came from. And it's possible that you fed them that information as a means to build up a third fight. That there's no Glovegate, bro. All of that shit is fake. He told y'all that shit to help sell y'all dummies a third fight. Because otherwise, what point is there in a third fight? You got your ass beat. It is what it is. Nobody wants to see it. You need
and
to
don't forget, a lot of his to those people, same people, we stand strong together. I have returned. I have not forsaken in your beliefs. These are statements he said. I have not forsaken in your beliefs.
Ooh. In chapter 16, verse 7 of Ecclesiastes, it says, and the rabid Wilder roamed the earth, bullshitting and lying to his cult followers. It's in there in Ecclesiastes. Look it up. Chapter 16, verse 2. This is all a con job, bro. I don't believe any of what I'm looking at anymore, because this type of stuff doesn't actually happen. You're going to be 1-1 with each other. Isn't that just convenient that he wins a fight and you win a fight and the third fight was a draw? That really? I'm not saying it never happened. I'm saying in postmodern boxing, this doesn't really happen that much, if at all. And then the fashion that he wins in, I think, is very important, because I swear to God, if he goes out there and he turns into Pernell Whitaker, this is fixed, bro.
My whole thing is, I just can't see how they forced Wilder to take a dive during Black History Month to a white man.
Are you, yo, dog? Are you I could tell you stories about things that people have done for money, man. That taking a dive. You think that's the worst thing he could have did because of the month? Man, there's people out there that have killed Eddie
It would have
Bravo
added up
for
that it
money.
was done for money when he would have made more money off of one Anthony Joshua fight and a Brazil fight
Well,
than the
they
three
don't want.
fights
You know,
with.
they don't want to. You know, the other thing is they don't want to risk injury. I mean, if you're participating in staged fights as opposed to a bigger payday in a real fight, you obviously don't want a real fight. There was always more money in an AJ fight, but they always turned it down.
You're being confused by the gypsy magic, Julius. I shall beat you in this bet again.
The gypsy magic ain't confused me with Billy Joe Saunders. I said his ass is gonna get stopped. They don't confuse me.
Billy Joe, but that's different because Billy Joe was taking on another gypsy. Canelo's like 82% Irish.
That's true. He is. As am I, from Dublin.
The
My
fuck
real
was
name
that?
is Julius McGillicuddy from
Mc-
Ireland. From Ireland.
as in after the mountain range, the McGillicuddy Reeks.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm from.
From
Julius
Dublin.
McGillicuddy from Dublin and McGillicuddy. I don't know, dog.
McGillicuddy derives from
Listen, man. I'm
it
just
derives from
telling you.
Viking times.
I don't trust these guys anymore. I really don't. I have every reason to believe that to some degree there was collusion. There was collusion. I don't believe for a second you planned on fighting Anthony Joshua in August. I don't believe Eddie Hearn was in on it because what's the gain for him? What's the benefit of 4 months of disappointing people? It's bad for you, if anything, because you've been getting people hyped up for a fight that wasn't going to happen. What's the benefit in that?
I don't see for a second that Eddie Hearn would be trying to promote Wilder versus Fury for 20 million when he's essentially missing out on 2 fights at the moment, which probably would have generated about $500 million.
I think they colluded against Eddie Hearn for a few reasons. One reason that really stands out is if all the belts by some chance were to end up at Matchroom, that would funnel contenders from every other platform over to the Zone and Matchroom for the foreseeable future.
It would.
Every single guy that you've got, Tony Yoka, Vianello, Jared Anderson, this kid Franklin, the Sean Franklin kid, like every contender that's out there, regardless of who they're with, they would have to go to Matchroom in order to fight for a title. That doesn't benefit any of the outfits that are over here. So a part of me feels they don't want Anthony Joshua to fight for that belt. And even if they do like Fury's chances, it's enough of a gamble that they don't want to take it. Like, nah, dog, if he wins all the belts, if all the belts end up over there, all of our fighters end up over there. We can't have that.
And let's not forget who's sitting currently in the pole positions for each world title. Hrgovic with Matchroom. Over Usyk, who's with K2, but has a very good working relationship with Matchroom. And then Dillian White with the WBC. As far as the WBA goes, there's no mandatory for the super title. It's all the regular belt unless the regular champion can't fulfill obligations. So there is no direct route. So the PBC will have to be confined into what they've been doing in every other weight division, which is going after the regular title.
Who is this XY person? I didn't say all of that. I literally said I think that Bob likes his fighters' chances, but it's enough of a gamble that he doesn't want to gamble because, in his own words, he doesn't like to gamble. Remember, if this fight would have come off, it would have been a Matchroom show. It's not a top-ranked show. If the fight would have come off, it's a Matchroom promotion in Saudi Arabia with Eddie's buddies. That's not worth it to him, bruh. It's bigger than just that fight. I'm thinking, they don't want Anthony Joshua to ever fight for that title, and they don't want all the titles under one banner, at least not in the heavyweight division, they don't. It seems like there's always a problem. There's always something that stops this from happening. And here we are. On that note, gentlemen, I'm going to go eat lunch. Fear the future. Fear it. We're being lied to. We're being hoodwinked. And I think in July, Wilder's going to win that fight.
And Julius has agreed to a bet.
Oh, fuck off with your bets, you fucking asshole.